Welcome to GB News, the channel that just keeps on delivering. Today, we want to discuss a current Ofcom investigation surrounding two senior Conservative MPs and the Chancellor's appearance on the network's channel. Recently on March 11th, Jeremy Hunt sat down with Esther McVey and her husband Philip Davis, both Conservative MPs, for their weekly show on GB News. This spurred the national media watchdog, Ofcom, to investigate whether or not the show had broken impartiality regulations. The probe is evaluating if due impartiality rules, which dictate that news and current affair programs need to accurately represent a range of major points of view, had been properly followed. The Scottish National Party's John Nicholson spoke out against the appearance, referencing it as a love-in interview with a flagged breach of Ofcom's rules. Nicholson wrote for East Anglia Byline saying the former Tory cabinet minister and her husband used their regular Saturday show on GB News to interview the Tory Chancellor about how good the Tory budget was. Not only that, but the interview was apparently trailed by the Home Treasury on their social media. The head of Ofcom, Melanie Dawes, discussed this situation in a statement, saying that serving politicians are allowed to present other kinds of shows, however, including current affairs, and that what matters here is the format of the particular show. This means that it may just come down to how the interview was framed, and whether or not there was an appropriate diversification of opinions. Another recent example of this sort of thing is Tory MP Nadine Dorries' interview with the former Prime Minister, Boris Johnson, on the 3rd of February. Despite 40 complaints about due impartiality, Ofcom asserted that the combination of pre-recorded interview, in-depth studio analysis, and panel discussion was consistent with current affairs and refrained from taking legal action. Along with McVey and Davis, Tory MP Jacob Rees-Mogg also fronts a spot on GB News, and the former Culture Secretary, Dorries, hosts a Friday night talk show on Talk TV. Politicians' double job holds warning flags for politicians who have ultra-partisan views. It's reasonable to assume that their work won't necessarily include every angle in their analysis and commentary. The Shadow Culture Secretary, Lucy Powell, denounced the frequency of serving Conservative MPs hosting and presenting TV shows, urging Ofcom to take a closer look at these matters. The channel has had its share of controversy. So far in 2021, just last month, Ofcom found GB News to have violated rules on potentially harmful content when presenter Mark Stein used official health data to draw misleading conclusions about a COVID-19 booster shot. It's clear that GB News has a lot of work to do when it comes to protocols and regulations when interviewing politicians, to ensure a just presentation of facts. As professionals, it is our duty to relay the truth in an impartial manner, so stay tuned for more news on the investigation to come. This has been GB News, always keeping you informed on the happenings in our nation.